Okay. All right, so here we go. What do we do? How do we do it? What are your ideas? How do we go?
Okay, for now we're still going to invoice underneath our transport, your business, but out of my books. So I'll open a new set of books and invoice Dunlop on a weekly basis. So from starting point where tires are dispatched with the manifest, I will give you a report on a daily basis to say exactly this is what we received from Dunlop today. And we accumulate it for 5 working days. The following Wednesday we submit invoices. Then I will scan you the original tax invoice that's submitted to Dunlop.
Yeah.
And then we'll do like a remittance to tell you exactly what the 20% is on that.
Yeah.
So the following week, as soon as we get paid, the money will be paid into your bank account, because we still have to use our transport until they can give us guidance what's going on, because I don't hear anything from Dunlop.
Yeah, I don't hear anything either.
And that makes me worried. But we'll get to that now. And then for the time being, then the following week, as soon as we submit the new invoice, again, the second invoice, I'll give you a report again on that to tell you what the tax invoice is, what the remittance, but then the first remittance must be paid. And that will follow on a weekly basis. So
basically it's the same as what happened now,
Yes.
just going in reverse.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just go back to the Dunlop story.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're not giving us any information? Because it's now in May and they started in December.
Well,
they asked us,
They can't be too busy to advise us what's going on. I mean, they said 2 weeks after the tender has been submitted. But I can't talk to Damien or anyone else, because I mean it's a head office thing.
Yeah.
So
don't talk to them at all.
No, I don't trust anyone. I trust myself.
No, well, it's exactly how it goes.
But I don't think it's a priority for them to look at it at the moment. I don't know why.
You know what made me think that this thing was maybe not a tender?
Okay.
We get an email, okay? And the email comes out to me. I contact you and I ask you, you got the email. Do you think Transco got the email?
What? Yeah,
I mean, did Carl get the email?
No, because Carl can't get anything. His business doesn't exist anymore.
So, but
yeah.
Do they know that?
What?
Dunlop.
Dunlop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know that, so you could go. Do you think that Mach got the email?
I don't know.
I don't think he did. I don't think so. I think only you got the email.
Yeah.
And because if Mark got the email, there would have been bigger discussions about it. There's been no discussion.
Yeah.
Mark would have come to us, or there would have been something. So I think only you got the email. So in my eyes, when I went to visit them, the very first thing that he said to me, even on the phone, before I went to visit him, talking about head office, he said, I never knew you had a contract. Do you think Dunlop knows that you have a contract with Transco? I don't think they know that you've got a contract with Transco. And that made me think, what are they talking about? You think I'm going to business? So then when I got there, I sat down and I spoke to the guy, whatever his name is. And I said to him, it's very strange, how does this whole thing work? So he said, well, I said, because I'm finding it funny, and I know Chris well, and I know we've had very good relations with Transco. And all of a sudden, from December, I've struggled to get hold of Chris. And I know Chris, if I phone him, and he normally answers the phone like that. And I said it was very strange. And Helen said she also had no correspondence with the guys. It was quiet. It was like there's a shark in the water.
Okay.
It's quiet. So something happened in December.
Yeah.
So he said, then he got the Murray. He said he's the Murray because he went to Dunlop in December and he spoke to the guys in a confidential meeting in December with management there. And he said, this is what we're going to do.
Who's that?
The guy that I spoke to, the guy who sent us the tenders, I forgot Edwin. And Edwin said, he's the Murray because this was meant to be confidential and there were indications that everybody was talking about it. And it came out. So he said, obviously Transco's heard about it somewhere in December. He said that wasn't meant to have happened. So he went back to Dunlop to cut the guys out of Dunlop. So he's going to go back to the guys speaking because it wasn't meant to happen. I only found out in February, but I think you guys got word of it earlier. So now he says, how does that work? So then that says to me, maybe it was a thing, and that's when you sent me the email too, to say we're only working from month to month. You remember?
Yeah.
And I said, that's strange, because all of this coincided all around that time. So then they decided, well, let's test the water.
Okay.
Then I went to see them, and I explained to them what my story was. And the guy said, well, they won't touch you guys, because they don't want to get involved. So I said, well, that's the way it is. I left it like that.
Okay.
Hello,
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
No complaints, thanks.
So,
I'm going to close here, Andre, so that I can...
Sure. So since that day, they have never come back to me. And I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to say, play us off against each other. Say, well, why should we be paying Andre when we could just pay Chris what Andre is, cut Andre out of the sea?
Yeah.
That's what their plan is. I think. So
they didn't see the joint venture coming.
They didn't see the joint venture coming, and they didn't know that we had a contract.
Yeah.
And I think somebody from there, your bosses, somehow must have been talking to their bosses and said, we don't have a contract. And they must have believed them. But when I explained to them, I showed them in writing, they said, that's exactly the same contract that we have with you guys. It's a tacit contract. The contract was there, and then it continued, and you continued on the same. And I showed them the WhatsApp messages and this. And I think that's what frightened them. Gone. So they are going around trying to just get all of those ones that they don't understand because new management together. Because Alan fed them information, this new bunch of guys, of who I was, and I was going at him. So I'm like, they're like the Guptas there. Yeah, Alan and them are the Guptas doing deals, and I'm putting pressure on them, and the more you put pressure on them, the more they squeal, and the more they try and get you out. So they were trying to get me, Alan was trying to get me out. And that meeting that he had with me was, Dunlop was trying to reduce its contractors. Remember he said that? Said that. And he said a couple of things, and tariffs, so we're going to come down. So he planted the seed with these guys. These guys don't know who I am.
The other day I spoke
So I think that's where it comes from.
Just hearsay. I spoke to Carl the other day, we just had a little chat, and we spoke about Johan, because I don't get involved, I don't want to do washing with him. And he said to me that he believes that Alan was in quite deep with Johan. According to him, he said that Alan actually owned vehicles running underneath Johan. So I said, how true that is, I don't know. But yeah, I think the wheel has turned, so Alan is not there anymore. Damien has moved up now to Alan's position. And then I think who's the other oak, Dan, who was the controller of all the PODs and stuff. He's now in Damien's position. But there's no urgency, you can see it. So Damien's got his hands full. It's black equity, you need to push the guy into the position to get the BE levels correct. But yeah.
So that's, and I agree with you 100%, that's what happened. Because when Edwin said to me, Alan had to go because he signed a form for Jenny. I said, no, you guys have got that completely wrong. I said, no, Alan was deeply involved with Mach. And I said, there's a whole lot of reasons why I can tell you. I said, number one, Jenny got into trouble once, and she had a vehicle, and Mach bought the vehicle, got her out of that. So I said, that's number one. She got Jenny involved with Mach. He said, number two, Alan knew about it. Number three, look at all the trucks and the space that Mach has got in the bay. Look at the contracts he's got. See if he got increases where we never got increases. See all of those things. And then you'll understand that Alan is involved.
We'll use our common sense.
And he was shocked to hear this. Everyone was shocked to hear this. And he said, Andre, what are you telling me now? I said, yeah, don't think that because
he tried to get his own house in order here in Johannesburg. It only fed head office what they need to know. That's how he got away with it.
That's how I got away with it. And when I went down that one time and I spoke to them at head office, and I had the CEO, I had an Indian advocate woman, I had another Indian guy who was head of something, and my son and myself in there. They'd never met me. And all of a sudden, he has this oak. So the red flag went up. Who's this oak? We don't even know who he is. Where's his trucks? Alan, then I blew the whistle on Alan. So Alan must have been feeding them stuff that, who's Andre? You know, what is it, how does it work? So they said, well, let's clear this up. And then when I went to speak to them, I realized, okay, this is how it works. My trucks were involved there, your driver, and there we are together, so we're running this. That's all I think it is. I don't think it's more than that. Because by now, they would have gone to, maybe they've gone to other problem guys around the country now, to some person down in Cape Town or whatever. So they've got all of those things clear. I think that's all it is.
Okay.
Okay, so what I suggest we do, okay, I think that let's go for this. We say the 20%.
Yeah.
We do that, okay? My biggest problem, and you saw how it worked, is that when you guys took the initial 2 years ago, you took I couldn't pay for that amount that came through. Remember? So what I suggest, we phase this in. We sign up a contract, we phase this in, and that will give me, it won't stop me suddenly. And then I've got my VAT to pay, and I've got my tax to pay, and I've got my certain extra, we phase it in. Reason being, because I've also done some research on retrenchment. Helen's been working for me for 20 years. Apparently it's something like a week.
A week per year, yeah.
A week per year. Got to phase that in too. So there, we must draw a line in the sand and say, there we're going through, and from now on we're going to go down at an angle like that. Or I come to you and I say, these are the things I've got to pay. You pay them, and we do the 20%, and then we phase them out like that. Then Mike got those expenses paid, like Helen's stuff and a couple of things.
What I would appreciate is if we can start from the beginning of this month, because it's already a month later, and I'm honestly bleeding on my side.
That's another thing that worries the shit out of me.
Why?
Well, you've been bleeding for a long time. Are you going to survive? Because you're always bleeding. And if I do this,
Well,
are you going to be in a financial situation to actually handle it?
Yes.
Because every time you're bleeding and it's going. What happens if you start?
It's not a story.
No, okay. What happens if you start bleeding in a year's time and I've signed this and you're going to come to me, I'm bleeding?
No,
And then what?
We're trying to manage our business. I've never.
No. I'm just, you must understand my side, because I've had agreements with you and and we're going down. So now I'm saying that's fine. I understand you. But what happens if you come to me with another story that in 6 months' time? I can't pay you that. So these are the things. What happens if you say...
We've got an agreement that says 20%.
We've got an agreement at the moment.
It's a respective.
Yeah, but we've got an agreement at the moment, right? It's an agreement.
Right.
Now we're coming to a new agreement because you're bleeding. And we came to a new agreement. We had an agreement years ago, which you came to me with you bleeding. So what I'm saying to you is, you understand the trend. So what happens if you come to another one and say, I can't do it?
Yeah.
And then I said to you, okay, here's the story, Dunlop. What recourse do I have? Where do I go to Dunlop? Those are the questions that...
We can drop the basics and we can start implementing. The sooner the better for me, so it can help with our turnover to be increased. I can manage it. The questions that you've got, we can talk over email, we can answer it. And as we go along, in 30 days, we can have the contract ready. I think we've discussed the basics in the past already.
I think so. I think that's fine. Okay, but these are my things now that if I send you an email, these are, I've got a couple of pointers. Who are the parties? Okay, the original thing is, who are the parties you're dealing with? Now, our transport is there. I've spoken to my accountant. He said you must close our transport. Okay? I close this thing. You guys take over and push it into your account. We go to Dunlop, we say to Dunlop, what we're doing, Helen is retiring. We say, Helen is retiring. Her mother and father died. She inherited some money. We've got to reduce our footprint with Helen and everything like that. We want to consolidate, because you and I now want to consolidate properly, and we want to move it all to Transco. So Transco can invoice.
Okay.
Transfer invoices my area, and here's the rates. I'm out. Okay. It's an easier, cleaner way than doing it with my company, your company. I'm running a company. I've got auditing expenses, etc., etc., etc.
Okay.
That's what's in my head.
All right.
Okay. So who's the party? You're doing it with me because it's going to continue until 6 months after I die.
Yes.
Okay. So the contract is with me, and I will then periodically tell you, okay, like you've told me before, pay it into that account now, or pay it into that account now, because my circumstances might change, that I might move to a different thing, and now I've got another business, and so put it into a block watch now, or put it into that account now. So that can vary.
Okay, that can work, yes.
Okay, so you actually got the contract with me, but I can state pay those apps, because I might go into partnership with another business, something else, whatever this. We don't know what happens in the future. That's why I'm saying I'm making it flexible.
Okay.
The contract is with me, but I can state whichever company you must pay it into. Okay, that's the one thing. Then, what is the intention of this contract that we have?
The intention.
The intention. The intention is for you to receive more money, obviously, and me to reduce my income.
Yes.
But by reducing my income, I've actually got an annuity going until I die. That's coming in plus 6 months.
Correct.
So that is the object of it. The object is to say, sure, give it to you, you take control, you take total control over it, I have it.
Correct.
The risks. What is the duration? The duration is 6 months after I die.
Yes.
Okay. And we take it from let's say I die on the 15th, just get all of these points. If I die on the 15th, the end of that month, 6 months from the end of that month till I die. So it's not like 15, not the actual minute and death certificate time. Okay, it's the end of that month plus 6 months.
All right.
Because those are important things, otherwise someone's going to argue it. What are my fears? My fears. And what are your fears? My fears is if you sell the business.
Yeah.
If Chris gets fired or retrenched or decides he's had enough, I'm now dealing with some other oak I've never spoken to. I've got Isak sitting here, or your accountant, or your lawyers, and they say, but according to this...
I think on that it's two business entities that's working with each other. It's not individuals. True. So the contract will speak.
The contract must speak for it. So in this contract, you must say, what happens if Isak sells, or Transco sells, or they merge with Mach, or whatever the story is, or they decide they're not going to do the tyre business anymore and they're going to give the tyre business up. What happens if you decide, don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah.
Those are the what ifs that we need to talk about. We need to discuss them. What will I get? Because maybe in 2 months' time you say, tyre business is just fallen out. I'm now, my life in work has disappeared, evaporated. We've got to come to a solution on that. Okay. Like the Brexit. How do we exit out of this thing?
Yeah.
Number one, the procedure. We go to Dunlop, we say to Dunlop, Helen is retiring, the bookkeeping and all of this kind of stuff, we're going to integrate it. Transco is going to do invoicing. We're reversing the situation because at the moment I'm invoicing Dunlop and this, so we don't have to give too much detail. We just say we're going to do it the other way around, which gives them a better control over, reduces their admin, because now they don't have two companies, they have one company. So there's a whole lot of stuff there, and this is the way we're going.
Yeah, that should be easy because we already advised them in a joint venture.
That's it, because they're already there. So all we're going to do now is we're just changing it to make it to more structured.
Correct.
So instead of me and all of the stuff that we have to do, and me attending meetings and everything like that, it's just now you.
Yes.
And I will be fed in there. I don't even have to go to Dunlop anymore, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm just a shareholder of the business.
Correct.
Transco. So maybe you're giving me shares in Transco. Whatever we're doing behind the scenes is our business, but I'm moving in with Transco. Okay. Something in that line. So that's what we've got to think about. The duration. What is the plan of exit? That's what we've got to work out. From the time we go, I want to say, okay, here are my expenses. From here, this is my stuff that I've got to pay out. We reduce it at an angle like this, down to where you are. You will immediately start getting more money. We take off until there's a cut-off time. I'll show you what those things that are accumulative, because all of a sudden you stop, you've got those things in arrears, boom. It's not much, don't worry. But I'll show that to you, and we put it down on paper. We say that's the amount. Either you pay for it, or you give me the money to pay for it, or whatever the story, whichever the way the accountants say we should do it. So let's say there's Helen's got her weeks that she's got to be paid out retrenchment. So if you stop now, I'm suddenly, how do I pay for Helen's retrenchment? That kind of stuff. Just closing down. Okay?
Okay, we have to look at it.
we look at it because it's going to you immediately going to start getting extra money.
Yeah, because
what I've looked at is you're going to get about an extra 100,000 rand a month, more or less.
The lowest it can go is about 20 grand, and the highest it can go is about 100. It depends on where you deliver to.
What did you get?
The percentage.
Yeah, you look. I've done some research on this thing, and I've the Excel file and I checked.
The average is about 60k.
And it's more. It's close to 100. But I'll show you. I go like that. And I check the bottom there. That's how much I'm losing. But it doesn't matter. This is the deal that we set on, and I'm not even going to argue because it doesn't matter. That's immaterial.
What I'm just saying from my side is the arrears that you've got on your side with the business. I think that will still be your responsibility to do, because I've helped from my side to write the 160k off.
Yeah, just hang on a second.
Okay.
What I'm saying to you is that I've got to do something practically. Otherwise, I've got to sell some part of my house to pay these things. You understand? So I'm going to say, either I carry on and wait for Dunlop to send the email, or I let this thing happen. Because, obviously if I carry it on, I can pay those things. If I don't carry on, I can't pay those things. So we're going to just come to an agreement. You guys are going to get more. It's just going to be it's going to be 3 months or something that the gradual situation will go down. But we'll get to that. I'll put the figures down. There's no point arguing it because you don't know what the figures are.
Okay.
And I know more or less, but I'll sort it
Alright.
out. Okay, but it will. You will not be paying in. You'll be getting more and more. I mean, more and more money, and then eventually it's out of the system and so on. Because otherwise, I'm going to say, sure, I've suddenly got less money, and now how do I afford that? I don't have food for myself. I can't even pay my water and lights, pay things here because suddenly I'm down. But those expenses are recurring expenses. I just got to reduce. Okay, we get to that. This is going to come in the contract. So we're phase 1 now to get this in. The method of arbitration. If we have a problem, how are we going to sort out the problem?
I mean, we can send a formal letter to request a meeting, and we pull up an agenda and we sort it out like gentlemen.
We sort it out like we sorted it out before.
If we can't meet eye to eye, then you get a litigator in that can manage this. I mean, but we know that's the last resort.
That is the last resort, but it's important to know.
Yes.
Because you know what?
To facilitate
That's why
it, yeah.
every marriage is signed up with a ANC. You know, when you get married, you know how it goes.
Yes.
You sign up an ANC, but when you get divorced, it's a different kind of letter that you sign at the end, complete to what you agreed to in the beginning.
Yeah.
You come to different array. I've never seen a marriage coming in this way and ending what the ANC is. Never. So the contract you sign up now always changes towards the end, but it must be protecting both of us. Simple as that.
All
right. What are our fears? Our fears I've spoken to you about how things can go wrong.
Okay.
So we must put down all the things that can go wrong and go through these things step at a time. Okay. And how do we relate to Dunlop?
Yes.
That's what we must also discuss. Simple as that, and then it's done.
The soonest we can do that, the better.
Okay. So as soon as we sign, the minute we sign, we implement this. I'm not going to go and implement something like from the 1st of this month and then not have this letter signed and then it's done. Because I've implemented it. So the sooner we get this thing, it can be done in a couple of days. And if it's done in a couple of days, the day we sign, that's when you implement it.
Okay.
I think that's fair, because to go back, then what is the rush for you to actually implement it? There's no rush. So as far as I'm concerned, we get this contract signed, and then from the 1st of the month, after we sign this one, it's implemented. That's a fair way of doing it, because I can't come and say, yes, we implemented it, I agreed to it, and take my money away, but we haven't agreed to this. So this is the only little bit of hold I have to do this. Do you understand? It's a fair thing to do.
I respect that, and I know that's good business ethics. The only concern for me is we've spoken about this more than a month ago.
No, you sent me an email.
Yeah, but
I'm prepared to do this quickly.
I know. Just hear me out. I've been a gentleman, and I've waited now a month again for that, and that's a month later.
When did you send that to me? You sent it on just the April the 20 when I was driving back from Cape Town. I got it.
No, not that. I was here by you, and we spoke about seven points over the email that we discussed.
That was for Dunlop's contract. That's what we said. Yeah. That was for the tender, and the tender hasn't come out. And then you sent me an email and said,
Okay, just hear me out.
Okay.
But in that conversation that we had for Dunlop, in actual respect, you made a joke before I left you, and you told me you're actually buying my business. That's what you said.
That's exactly true.
So
You are.
So other. No, I know that. The only thing for me is time. I need extra revenue to come in. As if it's important for you not to give it away. So it's a.
We're both in the same situation.
Yeah.
I need time. You need time. I need the money. You need the money. But the only time when this thing's signed, and this thing will be signed. It can be signed within a week if we get this thing right in a contract.
Okay, then start working on it. So
Let's start working on it.
We can get the ball rolling.
And so let's do that. So what I'll do is I'll send you a copy of this, so that you have what we have in this conversation, and whoever is coming after you understands this is what we're doing. All I want is I want to know that I'm safe for the rest of my life. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm signing, and I want to know that I've got 20% for the rest of my life, and there's no renegotiations later.
Yeah.
This is it. That is my turnover, and that's it. I don't want to come and have to wait for an email from you and get shocked. You guys now got a new rule. You shifted the goalpost. It's straightforward, 20%, no renegotiation on price, fluctuation. If the price goes up, the price goes up. If the price goes down, the price goes down. Just like it is now. Nothing more. And of course, this is ex-VAT. I mean, it's not VAT included. This is the actual what we charge them. So that 20% is not 14%. No, I get 6%. It's actually the money plus the VAT has got nothing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, here's my hand. Shake my hand. That's the deal.
Let me know.
Let's get it done.
So we can start working on it.
I will do.